Yes, good afternoon, officers. Time for short video. Today, very interesting science and technology, space, and cover cheste. Very important topic. It's called synthetic aperture radar. Aperture ante small opening ni aperture antaru. Synthetic ante artificially produced. Radar ante meeku telusu light. So, synthetic aperture radar. Look at what can be done with all these things. Any photos, any images, etla teeskochu. Earth atmosphere lo చాలా wide ranges of rays are there. So అవన్నీ కవర్ చేసుకుంటూ these take pics and all these things. Therefore, very important for defense as well as space works and all these things. అన్నిటికీ పనికొచ్చేది. Therefore, very important. You are bound to get a very good important prelims question from this particular topic. So let's look at the details. So quick details. So చూస్తే దీంట్లో మీరు అబ్జర్వ్ చేస్తే so this is what they form. So this is how the SRIRAM looks like. దీంట్లో satellite flight path, SRIRAM antenna, radar beam, ground tracker, incidence angle, antenna's footprint ఇక్కడ పడుతుంది, ground swath and satellite altitude. So ఇక్కడ నుంచి images తీయడం జరుగుతుంది on this. So this work is aperture అంటే opening, small opening నుంచి తీస్తాం from this aperture. ఇక్కడ నుంచి this and radar. So synthetic aperture radar is a form of active remote sensing కి పనికొస్తుంది. రిమోట్ అంటే చాలా దూరమైన అందుబాటులో లేనివి రిమోట్ అంటారు. సో వాటిని ఐడెంటిఫై చేయడానికి దిస్ ఇస్ వెరీ యూస్ఫుల్. సో యూజెస్ మైక్రోవేవ్ పల్సెస్. దేర్ఫోర్ దిస్ ఈస్ అ క్వశ్చన్ ఫర్ ప్రిలిమ్స్. ఎస్ఆర్లో వాట్ కైండ్ ఆఫ్ వేవ్స్ ఆర్ యూజ్డ్ అనే క్వశ్చన్ ఉంటుంది. సో మైక్రోవేవ్స్ పల్సెస్ ఈస్ ద ఆన్సర్ ఫర్ ఇట్. హై రెజల్యూషన్ ఇమేజెస్ ఆఫ్ ఎర్త్ సర్ఫేస్ ఈవెన్ ఇన్ డార్క్ అండ్ క్లౌడీ అట్మాస్ఫియర్స్లో కూడా దిస్ వర్క్స్. దట్ ఇస్ అడ్వాంటేజ్. సో ఎస్ఆర్ అంటే ఏంటి? సింథటిక్ అపర్చర్ రేడార్. What concept does it use? Doppler effect. And చిన్నప్పుడు Doppler effect చదువు ఉంటారు. సో అండ్ సిగ్నల్ ఎకో ప్రాసెసింగ్, దానివల్ల ఒక లార్జ్ యాంటెనా ఇమేజింగ్ కూడా జరుగుతుంది. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ద సైన్స్ బిహైండ్ ఇట్. నెక్స్ట్, ఇండియాస్ రీసాట్ అంటే రేడార్ ఇమేజింగ్ శాటిలైట్ సిరీస్ యూజింగ్ ఆర్. దట్ ఇస్ ఎ మేజర్ పాయింట్. సో ఎస్ఆర్ వర్క్స్ బై సెండింగ్ మైక్రోవేవ్ పల్సెస్ టు ద గ్రౌండ్, రికార్డ్ చేస్తుంది, బ్యాక్ స్కాటర్డ్ ఎకోస్ కలెక్ట్ చేస్తుంది, and using satellite or aircraft motion to synthesize a large antenna aperture for better resolution. That is what it does. Synthetic aperture means combining signal returns from multiple positions to imitate a larger radar. That is the meaning of synthetic aperture. So, synthetic artificial కాబట్టి what it does is signal multiple directions తీసుకుని అవన్నీ కలెక్ట్ చేసుకుని ఒక లార్జర్ రెజల్యూషన్ ఇమేజ్ అనేది క్రియేట్ చేస్తుంది యూజింగ్ దిస్ రీసాట్ ఆర్ ఎస్ఆర్స్. సో దట్ ఈస్ అ మేజర్ సైంటిఫిక్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. సో మీకు అడిగే ఛాన్స్ ఎక్కడ ఉంటుంది అంటే ఎస్ఆర్ అంటే ఏంటిది, రీసాట్ అంటే ఏంటిది, అండ్ వాట్ పల్సెస్ డస్ ఇట్ యూస్. సో వాట్ ఈస్ సింథటిక్ అపర్చర్? ఇట్ మీన్స్ కంబైనింగ్ ద సిగ్నల్ రిటర్న్స్ ఫ్రమ్ మల్టిపుల్ సోర్సెస్ అండ్ బ్రింగింగ్ అవుట్ ఎ లార్జర్ రెజల్యూషన్ ఇమేజ్. సో మైక్రోవేవ్స్ ఏ స్పెక్ట్రమ్లో ఉంటాయి? Lies in the electromagnetic spectrum, usually L band from 1 to 2 gigahertz, S band 2 to 4 gigahertz, and X band 8 to 12 gigahertz is very important. So if you observe this penetrates Earth atmosphere. It is divided into Y, N, Y, N. So if you observe this, radio waves, yes. Microwaves and infrared, no. Visible, yes. Ultraviolet, X-ray and gamma rays, no. So this is what happens. So దీంట్లో ఏమవుతుందంటే రేడియేషన్ టైప్, వేవ్ లెంత్, బిల్డింగ్స్ ని ఇమేజ్ చేయొచ్చు, హ్యూమన్స్ కూడా రెజల్యూట్ చేయొచ్చు, బటర్ఫ్లైస్, నీడిల్ పాయింట్ ఇవన్నీ కూడా వచ్చేస్తాయి. ఫ్రీక్వెన్సీస్ 10.4, 10.8, 10.12, 10.15 and all these things. And this is the temperatures at which the objects of radiations పడతాయి. So this is how an INSAR looks like. So what is this? ఇది మనకి చాలా ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ ఫిల్మ్స్. You observe this. Films కి చాలా important, as well as mains. If you want to mention, you can mention. So 3 stars for it. Why microwaves? Because it can penetrate the cloud, fog and any kind of vegetation, unlike visible or infrared light. So why do they use microwaves? Because it can penetrate easily. So L band SAR can detect forest biomass and ground deformation. SAR enables sub-meter resolution imaging from space. It can detect surface changes of few centimeters using interferometric SAR, INSAR. This one. So INSAR is interferometric synthetic aperture radar. దీనివల్ల గ్లేషియర్ మూవ్మెంట్స్ అండ్ అర్బన్ ల్యాండ్ సబ్సిడెన్స్, ఎస్పెషల్లీ ఢిల్లీ ఎన్సీఆర్లో యూ కెన్ ఐడెంటిఫై ఆల్ దీస్ థింగ్స్. సో దిస్ ఇస్ ది అప్లికేషన్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ ఇట్. So these are the major points that you have to understand. So ఈ points మీరు గుర్తుపెట్టుకుంటే చాలు. So and basically image resolutions. Next, SAR works day and night. That's the best part. All weather conditions, optical sensors, and no clouds, lights. ఏమీ దాన్ని చేయలేదు. Roughness detect చేస్తుంది, moisture detect చేస్తుంది, structure beneath the foliage as well as the snow detects. Monsoon season లో flood mapping by SAR satellites while optical satellites fail. So optical satellites and floodlight satellites. So if you observe this, this is what happens. NISAR, it is nothing but a combination of NASA and ISRO. So that is one satellite, and this is how the SAR looks like. So SAR is used for disaster management, especially earthquakes and floods detect cheyadaniki, agriculture, crop classification, military surveillance, climate science and planning, subsidence and all these things. So this is used by SAR. So if you observe this, this is SAR works. SAR works on day and night, so monsoon related. So NISAR entity, NASA and ISRO SAR mission. It's a joint venture between NASA, that is National Aeronautical Space Administration, USA, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. While uses a dual band SAR, L band plus S band rendu kaluptaru, so that land and ice surfaces kuda every 12 days it starts detecting and monitoring. So this part is very important, L band and S band, because I've already given you the frequencies of which what is L band. So if you observe this, L band is 1 to 2 gigahertz, and 2.2 to 4 gigahertz is S band, and X band is 8 to 12 gigahertz. So you might be given a small massive falling kind of thing. So that is next. Other agencies which are involved: ESA, European Space Agency, Sentinel using C band. This is what they do. Next, Japan uses ALOS 2, Advanced Land Observing Satellite 2. It uses L band. So all these are very, very important for your prelims. Chala important ivanni prelims ki. They might give you a mass the following. Next, Canada uses RadarSat Constellation Mission (RCM). USA, India, NISAR with NISA and ISRO. So these are all the other things which are the other countries and other nations which are developing work on this. So దానివల్ల మనకు ఒక strategic autonomy పెరుగుతుంది, better disaster management we can do, and agricultural support కూడా we can do, and link it to Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So climate tracking as well as border securities are the major benefits out of it. Trends include small SAT SARs create చేద్దామని ప్లాన్ ఉంది. AI plus SAR fusion చేయాలని అదొక idea, that is for the future. దీనివల్ల data complexity will increase, but we can manage that. Ukraine conflict used commercial SAR, example Capella. You can use this as a example which has already been used to track troops via clouds. So this Ukraine example, you can give this as a very good example for SAR, how it is useful even for war situations and defense situations. Next, these are all the diagrams. ESA, it's look European Space Agency valadi. Next, Canada, the RadarSat constellation. This looks like this. And next, Japan ALOS 2. This is the figure. And NISAR, it looks like this. So these are all the images of all the different agencies which are using SARs. So have a small glance. Very interesting topic. Next, a quick analysis of what everything is all about. SAR, it means synthetic aperture radar. Wavelength simulates large antenna using motion. INSAR, interferometric synthetic aperture radar, measures ground deformations. L band, ante long band microwave, 50 to 30 centimeters between 1 to 2 gigahertz. That is the question that they can ask. దానివల్ల advantage ఏంటంటే penetrates vegetation, forest, soil monitoring అన్ని చేయొచ్చు. Next, S band ante short band, which means microwave, 7.5 to 15 centimeters between a range of 2 to 4 gigahertz. Atmospheric penetration used in NISAR. Next, G band, if you observe, 5.6 centimeters, 4 to 8 gigahertz it uses. Balanced resolution using ESA Sentinel-1 is using this. So these are all the important details of all the different frequencies and wavelengths that each of the SAR uses. So remember this: SAR, INSAR, L band, S band, C band. Ivi manaki chala important. So special importance for these bands. So term, full form, wavelength and use in SAR anni mention cheyadam jarigindi. So all of you please remember this part, very, very important for your prelims. And what is a wavelength? 15 to 1 to 2 gigahertz, 2 to 4 gigahertz, 4 to 8 gigahertz. That's what you have to remember for your exam. Next, X band ante enti 3 centimeters, 8 to 12 gigahertz, high resolution, less penetration. That's the problem. Next, NASA, National Aeronautical Space Limited, developed by NISAR, co-developed by NISAR. Next, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, co-developer of NISAR. Next, ISRO, PSLV, Polar Satellite Launch Vehicle also uses this. Launch vehicle by ISRO for that SAR. And NISAR, if you observe, NASA ISRO synthetic aperture radar, dual band Earth observation mission. So these are all some details of all the different bands which are used, and what are all the bodies which are being utilized, like PSLV, Lekapati, SAR and all. And finally, RCM, Radar Sat Constellation Mission, uses C-band. I told you what is C-band. And marine and Arctic surveillance ki panikostundi, very important. All these are very important for your prelims as well as mains. So keep this in mind. Next, LOS2, Japan waladi. Advanced Land Observing Satellite 2 uses L-band, uses the disaster and forest monitoring panikostundi. Next, AI, which means artificial intelligence, predictive analytics and data fusion cheyadaniki. And PMFBI, Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, crops loss insurance program supported by SAR data. Therefore, these are the major applications of it. So this is what you can write. So if you observe, and we are starting this batch on June 30th, use the code SPLive, get 15 to 20% concession. Fees is 1,20,000, will be reduced to 1,05,000 or 1,00,000 rupees. I'll personally make sure you get the concession. If you have any queries, you can call 812-1191985. Tell your name, use the code, get a good concession. Most important of this data is very important. RCM allows to A country working. Next, X-band and entry, L-band and entry, C-band and entry. Next, SAR, INSAR, L-band, H-band, C-band, all the information is provided here. You have to mug up this, and what is the application of it is also very important. So they can give a master following, like vegetation, key, atmospheric penetration, balance resolution. All these things are mentioned here. And finally, these are all the pictures of all the different countries and their SAR programs. So Japan, ESA, European Sentinel uses the Japan allows to Canada, Radar Sat, USA, NISAR, PMFBI. Ukraine has already applied it and used for through clouds, they were able to find out data. Next, disaster management key, all these things, ISRO. And finally, L-band. Frequencies are very important. L-band 1.2, 2.4 and 8 to 12. Very important. RSAT, radar imaging satellite services. And finally, this is how the synthetic aperture looks like. And if you observe, this is how it works. SR antenna reflects beams and new aperture is created. And chinna parts తీసుకుని ఒక large resolution image అనేది create చేయడం జరుగుతుంది. So I hope all of you enjoy the video. I know it's a little point-wise things, but we are preparing for an exam. We are not here for entertainment. We are for serious points. Therefore, serious revisions are required. Watch the video again, because my focus and my whole aim is to make sure that all of you clear the exam. So no story building, direct to the points. I hope all the serious students will definitely take advantage of this video. So that's all for today. Have a nice day. Take care. Bye-bye.